a crane labeled Goliath, a Goliath, and a David tasked with defeating Goliath. The game clearly has some ideas and themes from the story of David and Goliath, but by the time that crane drops, Nemesis has not felt like Goliath for hours. Today we're going to talk about why Resident Evil 3 failed so badly at establishing this David versus Goliath theme. And stick around to the end of the video, we're going to be interviewing Nemesis himself. That's right, the Nemesis is here today, and we're going to talk to them. So to start off, we're going to talk about who is Jill, who is Carlos, and what's happening. Resident Evil 3 opens with Jill Valentine uncovering a conspiracy from the Umbrella Corporation, and suffering some PTSD following the events of Resident Evil 1. She knows Umbrella is doing some dirty work in Raccoon City, and she's trying to figure it out. And she knows an outbreak is overdue. But while she's been looking into Umbrella, Umbrella's been looking into her. Umbrella bioengineers an organism called the Nemesis to hunt the remaining S.T.A.R.S members in order to keep the mansion incident under wraps. Throughout this story, you'll follow Jill and, through a lesser extent, Carlos, a UBCS agent hired by Umbrella to do some cleanup work following the outbreak.
I'm with the Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service.
So throughout the game, Jill and Carlos are pursued by the Nemesis. So we've already got some themes going on here. He represents inevitability, at least that's what the game wants you to think, but more often than not, it delivers these structured road bumps from a cartoonishly incompetent Nemesis. He is laughably incompetent. He is
loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt!
Bad at his job. Seriously, if this guy had a end of year review, he would have been terminated like 2 weeks ago. Gameplay Nemesis versus story Nemesis. We know Nemesis is a modified tyrant engineered to track targets like Jill. They can take a lot more damage than a regular tyrant, and we know he's intelligent and able to use weapons, or at least the game says he is. Nemesis was implanted with a special parasite designed to make him smarter, more obedient, and more aggressive. And as he takes damage throughout the game, he becomes increasingly more mutated. He begins to lose his humanoid figure in exchange for this John Carpenter, The Thing ball of flesh that's almost unrecognizable by the end of the game. And this is a theme we'll see throughout the entire series: man's inability to control nature, but his attempt to do so anyway.
Life, finds a way.
He represents inevitability, power, and an overwhelming reach by corporate overlords. He is Goliath. But throughout most of the story, that image does not hold up. Unlike Mr. X in Resident Evil 2, Nemesis lacks an organic, meaningful pursuit system. Outside of these on-rails events when the game tells you it's okay to happen, he appears in these controlled sequences or these stupid arena-type battles straight out of Thunderdome from Mad Max, rather than dynamically stalking the player. He feels more scheduled than hunting. Honey, it's 4 a.m. Time for your Mr. Nemesis meeting. Yes, dear. Don't get me wrong, when Nemesis first bursts through that wall, there is real fear. Fear in Jill and fear in the player. They succeeded. But after this first event, we will watch Nemesis fail over and over and over until it's almost funny how much this guy fails. He will have several opportunities throughout the game to simply crush Jill in his hands, but he won't do it because the plot won't allow it. 4, if I'm counting correctly. And then the next time you see him, he will show up with increasingly larger firepower. It's almost a metaphor for his incompetence. The larger he grows and the larger his weapons become, the more stupider he becomes. First his fists. Oh, that doesn't work. Then for some reason he chases her with this slab of concrete, which makes absolutely no sense. It really just slows him down, if anything. Then a flamethrower, then a bazooka, and when all that doesn't work and he's defeated, he'll turn into a dog and run in circles. And fail again and again and become increasingly larger and stupider. These Thunderdome, Arena, Mad Max battles are where the illusion breaks most clearly. Once the player realizes Nemesis can be defeated in an enclosed space, running in predictable loops while eating bullets, the fear is gone. The fear went out to get cigarettes and he's not coming back. He stops being Goliath, he stops being this unstoppable force, and becomes a damage sponge. And the escalation of the increasingly large firepower you need to defeat him just makes him seem more mechanically durable through game design, rather than this intelligent monster. This creates a contradiction. The narrative insists Nemesis is Goliath. It's so literal, he's crushed by a crane, labeled Goliath. But the gameplay turns him into this annoying pest that you just shoo away whenever he shows up. When your character relies on intimidation, competence matters. Nemesis feels too predictable, too easily controlled, so you're never scared of him. By locking Nemesis into these arena-type battles, the game undercuts its own themes. So why does any of this matter? And if you made it this far in the video, I'd very much appreciate if you would consider subscribing and hit the like button. Horror games rely on a few things. Uncertainty. Where is the threat? Where is the enemy? Does he know where I am? Loss of control. Oh, don't worry, Jill. Here's 500 rockets so you can shoot in the face of this hulking Nemesis. Don't worry though. Vulnerability. The player is supposed to be outmatched. Jill beats his ass 4 times. Could you imagine in Resident Evil 2 if you beat Mr. X 4 times? Or in Alien Isolation if you beat Alien 4 times and they kept coming back? Would the game still expect you to see Mr. X or the alien as a threat? No, he'd be a joke. He'd be like, oh, here we go again. Oh, here we go again. Honey, it's 4 a.m. Time for your Mr. Nemesis meeting. Yes, dear. In Alien Isolation, the player feels completely powerless against the xenomorph because the alien is a constant threat. The alien is intelligent, the alien is uncontainable, the alien is unscripted and persistent. The illusion of autonomy feels real. The alien is actively out there hunting you, and you better not get too comfortable because he's gonna bust through that door at any second, and you better not underestimate it. That's really scary. This directly contradicts Nemesis. He's a threat when it's convenient to the story, and sometimes not even then. He is not intelligent, and he is incapable of doing even the most basic things. Instead, they reduce him to this dog chasing his tail in a circle, and he is easily containable. Just take him to the nearest arena you have him run in a circle while you shoot him like a mindless dog.
Hey, you guys ever use that Thunderdome, or do you just put it up for decoration?
You mean the blood dome?
Maybe he's persistent, but more like a mosquito than a predator. He just keeps losing but won't give up. All of these aspects cause Nemesis to feel 3 things: predictable, containable, and incompetent. Fear has collapsed again. The player realizes that Nemesis is no scarier than some mini-boss or some other grunt you might face in another game. Although he will pursue you, he will fail again and again. And it's sad, honestly. It's sad. Ultimately, the designers even went as far as to label this crane Goliath to reference the literature, but it almost becomes more ironic in the sense that the Nemesis is literally crushed under the weight of himself. Or maybe he's crushed under the player's expectations for him. You expect this relentless predator, this unstoppable force, but what the player gets is this mechanically durable, scripted pest, mosquito, nuisance, speed bump. That undermines the very theme of the game. The Nemesis is disappointing. He is sad in a pathetic way that he fails over and over and loses. His cartoonishly large weapons that scale in size each time you meet him, they just turn him into a big joke because he's so incompetent with them. If you're a Resident Evil fan, you'll get some enjoyment out of this game, but the harder you look, the cracks will begin to show. Overall, this game left me very dissatisfied. But ladies and gentlemen, it's now the time you've been waiting for. We've got Nemesis here for an interview. Nemesis, first I want to thank you for being here, but I also just want to ask you, what can you tell us about your time with Resident Evil 3?
You know, my manager calls me, right? Says he's got a banging job for me. I think I've got the deal of a lifetime, yeah? No. The bloody hate mail I get from this fucking game, I tell my manager to piss off if I could go back.
Understandable. Now I gotta ask you, Nem, do you get that comparison to Mr. X a lot?
Well, let me tell you. Yeah, I'm sorry, love. Can we turn this light down? Yeah. Thank you, love. Thank you. Let me tell you, that prick, he gets all the love, right? Bloody hell, I loved him. He was the reason I got into acting. All I hear now is, oi, Nem, you ain't half Mr. X. I tell you, I never wanted to be Mr. X. I wanted to be the best Nemesis I could.
Nem, do you feel like you could have made Resident Evil 3 better?
I would redo all of it.
Terrible. Just terrible. Nem, is there anything you want the audience to know?
I never wanted to be Mr. X. I wanted to be the best Nemesis I could. And my album releases March 12th. You can preload it on Spotify.
Nemesis, I want to thank you for joining us today. And I want to thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and leave a like. I'm Lamb Chunks.